All right. good morning, everybody. Let me change the screen because I want to go look at these other ones real quick. There we go. All right. Been slacking on the pre-bell breakdown shows, but let's see if we are live on X and YouTube real quick. I'm going to look at the market for the next 15, 20 minutes before market open and see where things are at. All right, we are live on X. Let's go check the YouTube stream as well. Make sure we're live over there. We are live. Fantastic. All right, let me go ahead and send this out in Discord. Bow, 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 bow. Uh, Pre-bell breakdown live. Man, is it freaking Thursday already? This week's gone by quick. It's been a fast trading week. It's been a good trading week. Been fast. Oh, so I sent out three charts yesterday, and uh, one of them is starting to get a little bit of move here, but we'll cover that in just a second. So, one name that I have on watch going into this next session, and put this right over here, is going to be CCL. So CCL right here, this top indicator, this is going to be the TTM squeeze indicator, and it's showing that we are in a high compression squeeze here on a Carnival Cruise Line. You do have the MACD that has already crossed bullish to the upside, and then in this downtrend that it was making of this lower high and then these lower lows, now trying to form a base right here. And it is getting some bullish divergence on the RSI during this time. So you got one, two, and three things right here that are trying to signal bullish. Now, the squeeze has not flipped bullish to go upside yet, and we are right at that trend line. So it's either going to stall out here. The squeeze will not flip bullish. The other two indicators will most likely go back to neutral and then be flat. And then once they start to curl downside, if the squeeze starts to then curl downside, it will then fire and then make the lower low, most likely going down underneath 25 bucks, going closer to 24. So, but if it can start getting a push above $26 and like 30 cents area, I think get a really nice move to the upside. So keep CCL on watch here for this daily. I think it'd be a great swing. You can, if cruise lines are one of those other ones similar to airlines where it can be a great swing, and then at the same time, um, if you catch it intraday when those names, that travel sector really just starts to run, the market's maybe going sideways, tech's doing whatever it wants, but you have all the airlines or just the cruise lines just in a slow grind up all day since market open. You can catch a really good just day trade run on those names where they can end up going, 5, 6% on the stock that day. So keep this one on watch. After Carnival, grab your coffee and look at Starbucks. So Starbucks, you can articulate some kind of weird looking double inverse head and shoulders, but this was one of the first things that I saw was this inverse head and shoulders. And then you have this area of resistance kind of right across the middle, which is going to be your neckline, just above 8750 area. So now it just hit the daily 21. You are getting a somewhat decently looking morning star reversal candlestick pattern right here off the daily 21, coming up into that area. Not only that, it is in a squeeze on the daily that just started. And then if you go to the weekly, I really, really like how the previous week candles are looking. So putting that trend line here for the big rejection that moved it downside, found support, right? It based down here just around 78 bucks, came back up, and went to just shy of 100, got the next rejection down. Trend line right here lined up, came back down. You'll see it based around the same area. All these bottom wicks that are right over here is kind of where the stock then based again. And now it's pushing back up, peeking its head over the trend line, but not over top of this area of where this SR flip can take place. So it's over here, zoom out, look left. This is kind of what I'm looking at for the break and base above this to get the move higher here on Starbucks. Go to the weekly, very similar to CCL. You have the lower highs coming in, but you have bullish divergence on the RSI. Your MACD is bullish. It is also in a 2-week squeeze here as well, moving to the upside. Again, it has not flipped bullish and it's right at resistance. So it can 100% reject this, accept back underneath, and then get the move down back to 78 and then $76 after that. But it is above the trend line, which I do like. It's just right at that level. So would like to see the squeeze and everything start to continue to push upside. It get the move above 87.50 and then start shooting for 90 and then 92. So keep an eye on Starbucks as well. Right here, I think there is potential for a big move. I love seeing daily and weekly squeezes. Mainly these weekly squeezes. I like seeing chart setups like this. You can usually catch a really good move for either a day trade again, where that stock just continues to run while the market is doing whatever else. But you'll have this individual name where that stock just runs, 3 to 5%, or potentially end up getting into a day trade, a little bit of time. Most likely going to be looking at, if I day trade it, I'll probably be looking at December 19 calls because I can turn that day trade into a swing trade, and it's kind of a sweet spot there. It gives me about 14 days on the expiration for those options. But January contracts are a little bit more favorable right now for me looking at swings, just a little bit of time, kind of average into that trade of letting it breathe and play out. So keep an eye on Starbucks. Also sent out HIMS. So HIMS got a weekly trend line area of support, and then very similar to Starbucks, just kind of vice versa. Resistance, breakthrough, back testing, now flipping to support, which now lines up right where this trend line is. So um, go over here on the weekly. It is not in a squeeze. It was in a squeeze right here to the downside. You'll see all the red dots right here. It flipped bearish. MACD was bearish, and then you also had bearish divergence on the indicator. 1, 2, 3, you get the red waterfall to the downside. Essentially, for CCL and Starbucks, it is the opposite of that. I want to see those three things line up. So two of them are already there. The third one, which is the squeeze, has not flipped above the zero line on the histogram and gone bullish. If it does, then you're going to have that 1, 2, 3 stacked, and that's what I want to see for that continuation to the upside on CCL and Starbucks. HIMS had it right here on the weekly chart for downside, and it played out beautifully and took it straight to this area. So now, looking at this area on the daily, want to see a move back up to essentially 39, 40 bucks. And then after that, I want to see a move closer up to around 42 area. HIMS, as you can see, closed yesterday around 37, and pre-market it is up right here. So this name is already up overnight after sending the charts from yesterday. You'll see there is your trend line. That is that white line that ran straight through the chart. It hit yesterday, and then you will see this beautiful red zone right up here. So got to move all the way up here to 37, came and held right here inside this zone. Love to see it. You want to see the ripper and it go to the next one. And here's the next zone right up here. And that is currently where it is sitting at. So HIMS is already on the move here, getting a really nice move pre-market. Again, the stock already up 3%. Would love to see continuation over top of this zone right here. Next big target area upside is going to be around here again, 39, and then be out majority of my position up here at just shy of 40 bucks. So it's going to be the highs right here from Friday, November 28th. So as of right now, it is getting the really nice move upside. It hit target one, there's target two, there's target three. So Hims is already on it. There was some flow yesterday that came in on some $41 calls from March 2026. Um, and then Hims had a nice move up into the close, made a new high a day. I mean, anyone that was in calls from the lows from here, from the trend line when that flow came in, I mean, they were already green in that position. Now, so far this morning being up 3%, that position would be even more green and more profitable. So those are the top three that I'm looking at going into this next session. I still do like Hims. I still want to see it go up higher. If Hims does pull back down anywhere to about this area here, I'm looking to buy the dip on that around 37.70 to 37.50. I can give myself room to add down here to around 37. This would be for the swing trade for the January contracts are potentially looking at those March $41 calls that came in. But this right here would be my spot to load into the position. And then you can give a stop either if it steps back underneath this or risking all the way down to that same equal low. That's right there. But then entering into the position here, looking for the move up to 40 after that. So risk to reward from yesterday, where the entry was absolutely fantastic. Today, the risk to reward is still there. It's still good. It's just not as good, obviously, as it was yesterday because the stock is again already up 3%. So, still looking for continuation there on that name. So those again are the top three that I'm looking at this morning. It's Hims, CCL, and Starbucks. Looks better than CCL. Yep, yep. I think there's opportunity on a lot of these individual names, so we will see what happens there. It looks like SPY and QQQ are getting a pretty decent move right now. Look at SPY and QQQ on a 5 minute. Look, what Ripper market is pumpy, pumpy. New all-time highs coming soon. What we doing? So these were the three zones that I had. Well, you can't see this. I'll change the screen over. Let me change the screen over to this one. These were the three zones that I had yesterday for SPY. You had your bottom support zone here of demand, your midpoint zone, and then your uh, rejection zone right here. So it hit the support zone perfectly, went all the way up, hit the rejection zone, came right back down to the midpoint, and then did a break in base and went higher. And then looking at it here pre-market, that's what it just did again. So came back down, retested the zone, buyer stepped in. That's what you want to see to go long. It's held that zone all morning and is now cruising on up higher. So I have another area up here just above 685, closer to 686. You'll see this is the next little area here on the SPY. Starting to see a little bit of resistance up here in this area. Drag. These are the highs from Monday, November 3rd, and then mainly right here, Wednesday, November 12th. Tuesday, sorry, November 11th, after hours going into Wednesday, November 12th, open as that high right up here, where the market took the dip back down to 681. If you hit that zone right up there and just bring it on over, drag it there. There is SPY going from breaking base over this zone and entering into the next. So Next zone above 685.50, 685.90 area. I mean, after that, I mean, just SPY to 700 by end of the year. I mean, what's stopping it? Q's looking really, really good. So Q's zone up here. Drag this over. So Q's almost there. These are the highs from same thing, Tuesday, November 11th, going into Wednesday, November 12th. Those are the highs in which SPY and QQQ are both currently entering into right now. I mean, absolutely incredible. Next big spot is going to be right up here. Beautiful retest over here on the market, big reaction off it. So you know this is a really big spot. So potentially you can see over this zone in QQQ 627 today, but it is entering into that zone from almost exactly a month ago, 3 weeks ago. But market's looking good. I'm gonna change this one to red. Meta is a face ripper. I don't know. I sent a bunch of charts out on Meta. I said I wanted to see it go back to 660 and then 680, um, based off of hitting the low from October 2022 to the April dip within the market. Um, Go here on the monthly, and you will see lower monthly wick hit the trend line, SR flip area ripped higher, came back down, lower monthly wick, SR flip area, and now ripping higher. And now it's at 680. After that, 700 and 715 most likely. I mean, absolutely insane. If you go to the hourly, ever since this area was tested, right in here, just underneath 590 down to about 580 area. I tried to long Meta twice down here. It got a pop up, came back down, and then was like, nope. Took it again, got the pop up, came back down. Nope, and I did not take it for the third time for the swing, and now it is absolutely moving and grooving. So what an absolute ripper on Meta. This is it was a beautiful chart, a larger time frame. And I think I sent out, if you go on my X profile and just go type in Meta, you'll see when I sent the first chart for when Meta entered into the area down here at 590 for that trend line. An absolute ripper. Would have been my biggest trade of the year. Actually, I don't know. I think APT. APP might have been a little bit better than Meta. Probably about the same. And I can't be mad. Someone said Tesla as well. Tesla very, very strong yesterday, out of the gate this morning. Tesla just above previous day high, looking good. So had a really nice move on Tesla, relative strength. I took a short on Tesla, actually right up here, and I shorted fish back down to VWAP, and that was it for me. And then kind of bounced and went sideways. I went to lunch, and then I had a really nice move into the close, and now little break in base above previous day high. You go mark that right there. That is going to line up with your pre-market low. And that's what Tesla's currently holding right now. And now Tesla's pre-market high for today is up in that area. So be watching those two areas on Tesla. Mark Zuckerberg's plans up to 30% cuts for metaverse efforts by Bloomberg. NVIDIA is fighting for its damn life. to not fall under this freaking 180 area. Every time it comes down here and takes that dip under 180, just trying to hold that thing straight back upside. And then you have your resistance just right up here around 180, 170. So watch these two areas on the video. I'd say it's very, very, very simple for NVIDIA here. Nothing too crazy. Mm. Any idea for Snow? Snow had earnings, so I believe they don't, unless they did any kind of big recovery. No. Hey, look, I have a zone that starts right down there at 238. It hit 238 point what 89. Yep, to the penny. Um, yeah. So you have these lows from right over here around 238. It got very close to it, kind of basing right there. For Snow, I don't think it's not tradable so much. Usually, when a stock reports their earnings, I don't touch it for the next few days or week. So it gave a really big move, so I don't think you're going to have any kind of um, IV crush going on or IV flush. I mean, the overall move was what? 8%. I don't know what the implied move was on Snow. I mean, but the stock did drop down 8%, went from just shy of 270 down to 240. So I mean, stock's down, $30. So I mean, depending on what options strike an expiration. If anyone traded for earnings, you could be green. You could be getting crushed if you went too far out of the money. If you end up buying like 200 puts or something for tomorrow expiration, yeah, you're screwed. Those are going straight to zero. For a new trade though on Snowflake, looking at the larger time frame right here, you'll see right there. This is the spot where I'm interested in. It's right there where this volume shelf is, and right at 238. This is where I start to get interested into Snow. So looking at it here, after the earnings, it got very, very close. It has not come down into that area right there of 238, but did get fairly close. So could be a buy the dip potential here on Snow. You can always look at some 2x leverage for some shares, maybe intraday if it does base here, start to get a move back upside. Shares a little bit more favorable, less volatile to trade versus options. I personally wouldn't be touching options, especially options that are, uh, weekly contracts on the same right now. So you're welcome. All right, last one. I'm gonna bounce. A-Lab. I had A-Lab on watch for upside off the SR flip area, and it played out beautifully. So I had a nice reversal right here off the SR flip area around like 135, 140 area. And it got the really big push up, went to target in the mid 170s. Looks like it went up to 182 on its highest, but this right here was target around like 174, 175. Rejected it, put in a lower high, and is back straight down to where it is at right now. So um, there it is. So here's the gap fill over here on the left. Gray, let me turn off. So there's your gap right here on the left side of the chart. You drag it over, right? It filled the gap and based all right here at the daily 200. This was the area looking for long. Target for a quick scalp upside was right up here. And then it can reject and put in the lower high, and that's exactly what it did. So nice bounce, went straight to target, rejecting, now back in the same area. As of right now, with where it sits, I think you can make a case for both directions. It is making lower highs, lower low. Just made that next lower high, so I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up losing these daily moving averages, coming back down to like 142, 140 area, and then if it takes out that low from Friday, November 21st, getting to move down to 120 at that point. If it does continue to hold here If it reclaims back above 160, I'd say you have the good chance to go back up here to this area, and then not trying to make another bull case. But if it does consolidate or hold right here and start to move back upside, you would potentially form an inverse head and shoulders with this dip right there, the head down here in the middle. So if it does pop back up a little bit, whatever, it comes back down and it just consolidates within this zone and still holds it, and it takes some time. When it goes back up and it breaks above that 160 again, pushes back up to 174, 175, you could potentially have an inverse head and shoulders by that point to get a move upside. Just speculation, but I mean, I do see that potentially forming on the chart. But again, with where it sits at right now, it did just give a quick move for upside for this right here, and the rejection is just back at the same spot. So nothing new for me just yet on ALAB. I would have to let this one sit. So that's it for me, guys. Quick session. Again, top three I'm looking at are him, Starbucks, and CCL. Obviously going to be looking at SPY, QQQ, and IWM, looking at some of these other names, looking at your Meta, NVIDIA, and Teslas as well. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Appreciate everyone who tuned into the live stream. If you're on X, make sure you like and repost the stream. This will be saved onto the X profile, also onto the YouTube channel. That way people can just kind of watch this recording at some point in time later on, just for educational purposes. But that's it for me. For the premium Discord team watching the stream, I'm going to move this on over to the Discord for the live stream and live trading session for the day. I will be a guest speaker on Wolf Financial Spaces today, hanging out over there, just normal market talk with the guys and all the girls and everyone that tunes in to that space. But I'll mainly be over here live streaming and live trading with the Discord team. So everyone trade safe. Have a great day. It's Thursday. It's the last, for me, it's the last like full trading day. We had a great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Looking to have a great Thursday, and then hanging out on the YouTube stream tomorrow for FAFO Friday. Just looking at some intraday scalps on zero DTEs, quick trades, but then mainly looking how the market is going to end for the week to set up for swing trades for the following week. So that's it for me, guys. Appreciate you all who tuned into this. You're welcome. You're welcome. Appreciate and love you guys. If you want to come hang out in the premium Discord, absolutely you can go to the website that should be there on the screen. It is in my profile, my bio on X and YouTube. Take you over to my Discord, also my store, my WAP store, and you can get a 7-day free trial. Come hang out with the premium Discord team, see if it's the place for you. It's not only myself, it is myself and four other amazing trade alert analysts for swing trading and day trading options, along with futures trading as well. And then obviously I do live stream and live trade every single day in there, sharing all of my trades, my charts, everything that I'm looking at with the team. So if you want to come hang out, go get yourself a free trial. Make sure you use code KC30, KC30 at checkout as well. That way, if you do decide to stay after the free trial, you get 30% off your next purchase. So, all right. Love you all. Have